Hi everyone, my name is Martin and welcome to another great edition of MP Astro. Now, as you can remember from my last video, I created a fantastic images using a mono camera, taking awesome pictures of the sun, and as you can see, got some truly amazing results. So as you can remember from my last video, I did a time-lapse video of the sun, and if we take a look at it, and as you can see in that video, yes, it's not a bad video, the time-lapse, but there's something that's not quite right with that video. But I wish it could be better. Now, I've had a look online and I've seen some really good examples from a lot of experienced solar images, and some of their shots of their time-lapse videos are absolutely, truly outstanding. And it's got me thinking, how have they managed to do that? And in this video, I'm going to show my way of how to produce a basic time-lapse video. I spent a lot of hard time and work trying to work this out myself, and it's not easy. And just by using two editing programs to enable to achieve this, yes, it's a very basic guide, but the whole idea is I want to share my experiences out to you guys and girls and everyone, how I do it, and trying to get that time-lapse video that I really want, that I've seen. Yes, there'll be some viewers that probably use better equipment, better software editing, and have more knowledge than what I have. But the whole idea of this video is to share and demonstrate an easiest way to produce a time-lapse video. A time-lapse video which is not going to be jerky all the way around the frame. It's going to be a nice, still, steady shot and smooth, like you see on the professional time-lapse videos that you see. So before we start, please hit a like button. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe onto my channel. And again, if you're struggling on you're trying to work out how to do a time-lapse video, maybe this video is for you. So please don't forget to share this video out. It may help many others in the process. And also don't forget to hit the notifications bell by hitting the bell, scroll to all, select all, and I'll keep you notified for any new videos that I publish out very, very soon. So to that on, if you want to find out more what I'm going to do, please keep watching and let's do this. So then, guys and girls and everyone, I'm using the Rother Valley Optics 60mm ED refractor on my Skywatcher Star Venturer mount. Just because I finished work today, I didn't have much time to set up the proper solar setup, so I did a quick hasty alignment and got the sun projected onto the sharp cap. Again, I'm using the Mighty Quark and I'm using the ASI 178 mono camera. So I want to get some close-up shots of the solar flares or prominences. Not a particularly great activity at the moment on the sun, but just because I finished work, I just wanted to capture some quick data as much as I can. So as you can see here, not much activity on the solar flares. So as you can see, this has been a bit of a challenge, even though I hadn't had much time to set up my gear, as I just finished work and I've hastily set it up, which is not ideal. But what I'm trying to do is, with this tracking, I'm trying to get it center
in the target that I'm trying to image. There's a lot of promises in this region here, but it is very difficult. So I'm just trying to do my best. The tracking is nowhere near good enough, but I'm trying to center this part here. So that is my main point of aim. So I'm using the crosshair, and then as I take a 30-second or 15-second shot, I'm taking the image. The tracking is still not great, but as long as I get as much detail in this region here, I should be good to go. So as it's finished its 30-second video, I'll recenter it again as the camera's still buffering, and I'll just keep doing that, alright, until I've got enough sort of videos. So as you can see, I'm buffering now. So then what I do is I just center the target back to where I was, and keep doing it, and I'm just trying to get as much as I can in that field of view. So as it's buffering, that's the pause. It again depends on how quick your computer is. As long as you keep within that center as best as you can. Alright, tracking is terrible, absolutely terrible. And again, if I had plenty of time, I would have just taken my time and got the setup properly aligned. But yeah, like I say, tracking is very crucial when you're trying to make a time-lapse video. So I'm just centering the target again. Alright, and then as soon as it's buffered, it'll begin its recording again. So, okay, there we go. So it's doing its recording. There we go. So after 10 seconds, I'm doing the 30 seconds now. And I'm just, as long as I get within that region, I should be alright. Alright, so keep within that region and just keep collecting that data. As soon as I buffer, I then recenter it again, try again, and just keep doing that, which is very annoying, but it's a real shame. But this is real astronomy, guys and girls and everyone. This is real astronomy. And again, it's like always, why is it always a perfect example? Again, this is my frustration. I'm not properly polar aligned properly, so my tracking is all over the place. So we're buffering. I'm now going to recenter it again and then take the shot again.
Hi everyone, as you can see, I've just done my imaging session with the sun. I just like to show you some of the settings that I've used and through ShotCap. So to do that time-lapse video, what I did was, like, you activate the camera, and then when you start capture, which is highlighted on start capture, you'll get this screen that pops up. These are the settings that I used to do my time-lapse. Now obviously ignore all these settings here, okay, because I'm not using my camera, but this is the setting that I use to do the time-lapse. It's a little bit different through ShotCap than it is with fire capture. So what I did was set a time limit of 30 seconds here. I performed a simple sequence. So basically it'll capture that length of sequence. I'm guessing that's 30 seconds because that's where it was running at the time. And this is the interval. This is the pause between the captures, which is very crucial. Now, because I was buffering, which was taking quite some time, so it was taking over a good half a minute. So what I did was, to compensate while it's buffering, I'm losing a bit of time anyway, so the camera's shut off. So I've had it set at 5 seconds. So as soon as the camera's finished buffered, then it will start the 5-second delay, then it will start the capture, and that's the settings I've used. Now, depending on your computer or laptop, you might not even get any buffering. So again, set that camera to around about 30 seconds delay. But if you do get buffering, just lower the interval as low as you can. And then once you've done, you can just put your target name it what you want to call it, and then you just start the capture. And basically the camera just takes over straight away. So that's the settings I use to do that time lapse through SharpCap. It's a little bit different than fire capture, but I hope this helps you guys and girls and everyone. So then everyone, I've got my files, which is this file here that I've captured. It's only a quick capture, and as you can see, I've named it Flare Annie. So this is my animation slides. So each one of those files is only like around about 30 seconds long. Alright, this is me camera settings if anyone's interested. Again, this is my settings that I've used during that imaging session. So I don't know if this will be quite helpful for you guys and girls and everyone, but they're my settings. Now each of these files, please take note that some of these files, just because they're 30 seconds long, that's the sort of frame count I've got, around about 1,000 to about 1,200 frames. So please take note of that, and you will understand what I mean. So with these video files, I've got around about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, which is not a lot. So each of those is around about 30 seconds long, with around about 15 seconds delay in between those shots. Don't forget, it might be a bit longer because I was buffering, so there is a lot of a delay in between those shots. So it's not a lot of data, even though it is. Each one of those files are around about 2.5 gig of data there for each of those frames. So what we're going to do is we're going to go onto auto stack it 2, and with that we are going to open up all those frames, where's that list? There it is. No, that's not the right one. I'll just check again. I think that's the one. No, that's already what I've done. There it is, there's the file. We're going to click on that, and we're going to left click, hold the shift key, scroll down all the way to the last key, or to the last time lapse, and click open. So basically it's going to open up all the files. As you can see, it's a big picture. It's in HD mode, so it's quite a large image. So what we do is we shrink it so we get the whole image, like so. And then with that, we're going to anchor a point. So we're going to press Control and left click the mouse and pick a point. So I'm going to pick this point where we've got a bit of a solar flare prominence there. Could be potentially
a plasma explosion that I captured, which I'm very fortunate to get. So with that, that will set an anchor point to get like sort of where I want my image wants to be. So when I stack the image, it'll pick a point of where roughly I want it to be. So pick a point where you got plenty of detail. So now we click on this slide. We're going to click on surface, which is already on there. We're going to click on improve tracking. We're going to make sure we expand the image. We don't want it cropped. We're going to leave the noise robust to 5, which I think is a good range, and we're going to leave it to a gradient. We're going to leave it as local, so leave that selected, and we're going to leave it at auto size quality base as well. So also I made sure I've got my stack options to a TIFF file. We don't want anything else, because with TIFF files you can Photoshop and edit that file into Photoshop. Now, as I remember the number of frames to stack, I have adjusted it. You can either do it as a percentage or you can do it as per frames. So for every video it's going to stack 250 of the best frames. Now don't forget, each of my frames are around about 1000 to 1200 frames per video. So what I tend to do is quarter that, because I've got a lot of files that have got a lot of turbulence in the Earth's atmosphere. So I decided to go for 250, which is around about 20, maybe 30% of the best frames stacked. So I kept it a low value of 250 frames. So with that, I think we should be good to go. So what we're going to do is also make sure we keep, every time we stack the images, we're going to make sure it's sharpen the images as well slightly, not too much, but around about 85%, which is good. And we can save the files into folders, so we'll leave that as well. No need for drizzle, forget that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click analyze, and what it's going to do is going to pick out all the best frames and sort out other things as well. So we're going to speed up the video because this might take a while. So after it's finished, you see there is where I put an anchor point. It's picked out a frame just there where it thinks where it could stack that particular image. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of detail which can be captured within this part here. So with that, we're going to go back to this menu. In fact, no, we're going to go to this menu here, and what we're going to do is you're going to set individually align points to pick out some of the most detail. However, what you can do is you can either adjust the size frame you want to 120 to 140 depending, but I'm going to click on 104. Alright, so you can manually just pick out the detail you want, but you don't really need to do that, so we can just minimize that. Now you'll notice it'll sort out some of the best frames here. Obviously from the top it will sort out the highest quality of 100%, and it will go all the way down to the worst possible frames at the bottom. Okay, so we don't need to adjust any brightness, all right, but what we do need to do is place it. You can auto grid those squares, those align points automatically. And all you have to do is place AP grid. So there's 104 frames there of align points. Again, the bigger size, bigger the align points, but that's enough detail. Okay, we don't need to put align points there, there's no need. So we've got our align points set. We go back to this menu here, and with that we are now, once you're happy, alright, you can then adjust. You can now just stack the images. So with that graph, it'll pick out some of the best frames, or 250 frames possible, of every single file. So every single file here, it will stack those together. Don't forget, these will still be individual files, so it'll stack every single one set at those settings there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video out, because this will take a long time. Because don't forget, you got 25 of those separate video files, so it's going to take a while. So it'll go through every single one, and it will align them and stack each of those images, and then adjust the sharpness of each of those video files. So we'll cut the video and we'll get back to you later on. So now we're coming to our last frame. As you can see here in this box here where my pointer is, 25 out of 25. So it's almost done, gone through all its process, stacking the image and analyzing what is required. Alright, so it does do image alignment, so it's going to align every single video, and it will take a while. I mean, as you can see here, it's going through exact same process like I did on the first frame. So it's put all the align points on the other videos, and it's going through exactly the same. So we're almost there. Just bear with me, guys and girls and everyone. It's going to take a while, but it's going through every motion at the moment. So I thought I'd show you this part. We're almost at the end, but it does take a while. So the more frames you have to stack, the longer this process will take. In fact, this will probably be the longest process you'll do using Auto Stack It 2. Again, Auto Stack It 2, there are other variants as well. There's Auto Stack It 3, and I think there is an Auto Static and I think there is an Auto Stack It 4 as well. So again, this one is free to download. So this is free to download. So again, I will provide the description below, so you can check that link out. But I believe that the Auto Stack It 3 and 4, you probably might need to pay for those programs, because I think they are not freeware, so you have to pay for them. However, they'll have same setup as this one, but you'll probably find there'll be much more functions you can do on there. So we're almost at the end. So come on, slow computer, and there you go. So as you can see now, it's completed, and we're going to close this program. There's no requirement for it. So this is our file here, and we're going to check it out. So as you can see, all our files are there. You'll notice there's a separate file. So there is Auto Stack It, and it says 250 frames. So 250 frames, best frames being stacked. So every video will have a fully stacked image. So in there you have two variants. You have a normal TIFF file, and then you have one that's sort of sharpened file. The one that says converted TIFF, those are the files we're going to use. So ignore this file. Alright, the ones that were just a TIFF file, but we're going to concentrate on those files. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up Photoshop. Okay, so we're going to open up Photoshop. Again, I'm using a very old variant of Photoshop because I pay for this every month, and I haven't updated it yet, but the newer versions will probably be better than this old version. So then, I'm going to minimize that, let it load through. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up our first image file that we've stacked using auto stackers. So the first thing is we go to File and we're going to press Open. We're going to find our file somewhere. There it is, there's the file. So we click on that, click on that. So we're going to ignore these files because those are those files we can maximize it so you can see what I mean. So those are the files, and it's this bit we want, the ones that have been stacked. So we click on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the first file. So we're going to click on this one. Okay, you'll notice it's in sequence. So the good thing about when you're using shortcap will, when you capture this data, will label exact time of when that was taken. So these files will always be in order. Okay, guys and girls and everyone. So this one's the first frame, this one here. So we click on that and we're going to open it. So there's a stacked image. There will be some imperfections, so you have bits that's been cut out and so forth. Don't worry about that. What we're going to do, and now this is very important, you must remember this process. Before we do any post-processing edits, we want to record exactly what we're trying to do. This is called an action. So every time you are editing a single stacked image, you want to follow the exact same process and record that process so that you can transfer all that detail to the same to all the other videos. So all the other stacked images, you want to apply this exact same settings. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create an action. So we're going to do is, I think it's in Window, and we're going to find action. So there is, so click on Window, click on Actions, or Alt or press F9. So there's Actions. So this is an Actions tab. What we're going to do is click on this box here. Okay, so we left click this box here and we're going to create a new action. So click on New Action. So this action, I'm going to call it Solo Edit 1. Okay, so Solo Edit 1. Again, don't worry about that. This will become apparent as we go along. you can, when you do an action, you can always activate it. So when you're applying to a new image, you can open up that image and you can press these hotkeys, okay? And you can process each of those once separate. So when you open up Photoshop and you create your action, you just press F2 or whatever you set your function key to then activate that image straight away, okay? And you go through every single one of them, okay? And you can also color code it so you know what it is. So because it's solar, we're going to color code it as yellow or orange. So this is our solo edit action. Now what we're going to do is we're going to record it. You notice in this box here that Photoshop is now recording exactly what you're going to do. So with this image, that we are going to process this image, and Photoshop is recording exactly all the edits we're trying to do. So from that, first thing we want to do is we want to make sure, the first thing, because it's a mono camera, we need to convert that image. So we select image, mode, and because it's mono, we must select RGB color. Now if you're the lucky guys and girls and everyone who has a color image or color camera and your images are colored, you don't need to do that. So what that's done is Photoshop is now recorded that action we've just done, okay? So that's recorded that action, so we convert it to RGB. So because it's RGB, we'll then go down to this box here and we're going to do our adjustments. So you can adjust the levels and set your levels and change the color that way, but for some reason I prefer to use the color balance that way. I think it's a lot easier. So we're going to move this tab across and we're going to convert this image into a color image, okay? Alright, so you have your midtones, select shadows, again use the slider bar, again, and then highlights, same detail, more to the red, more to the yellow. Okay, be careful when you do too much because you might blur out some of the detail. So back it off like so, and again apply a bit of red, go back, and again just tweak it around. All right, just play about with it. All right, practice what you need to do. Okay, so say we got that now, you're happy with it. So what you're going to do now is we're going to, now you're happy with that process, the action is recorded here. So now with that action, we're going to left click, we're going to press Control and E to apply that setting into there. So then again you can create a duplicate if you make a mistake, but I'm just going to use a background color, so don't worry about that. So we're going to go back to this part here, so click on that, and then what we're going to do is, in fact, yes, what we're going to do is you can do other things like adjust the exposure. So we're gonna, again, be careful with gamma, so you're gonna back off the gamma, so you're gonna make sure that this part is quite dark. So we're gonna adjust the gamma, okay, to a manageable level. If you go too deep like that, you'll start to lose detail, so back off on the gamma to a point where it's sort of reasonably dark. You don't need to adjust offset, and you can adjust the brightness, but again, be careful of the exposure, you might lose the detail. Alright, so keep that set in there. Again, we're going to press down Control and E
and get that adjusted into the background color. Again, you may want to create duplicate files. So the next adjustment, again, this is recorded. We're going to click on filter and we're going to adjust the noise. So we'll select noise, adjust dust for scratches to get rid of some of the noise in the image, and that's the one done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the image slightly sharper. So we select filter, go to sharpen, select smart sharpen. So we're going to adjust the box so you can see what we're doing. So you can see the detail there. Alright, like so. Again, we can adjust the radius, adjust the amount of strength, okay, in that image. And again, if we just put it out there a touch, again, you can adjust the sharpness. Now, be careful not to do too much, because if you do too much of the radius adjustments, your image will start to look a bit weird, okay, like you see here. So all we do is we're going to slightly sharpen the image. Okay, so around about 2.5, 2.7. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we've just a little bit of sharpness, just a little bit better. Now we can use Registack 6 or we can use the IMPPG, but I'm just starting out, guys and girls and everyone. I'm just trying to keep this simple, short and simple. Alright, so we just done a minor adjustment there. So ideally I would like to use Registack 6 or the other program to sharpen that image a lot better than that. But I want to do this, keep it nice and sweet. So now we've got that. It's now recorded that data, what we've done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to crop the image. Alright, there's a lot of wasted space here. So what we're going to do is select this box here. Alright, and we're just going to cut out part of that image. Alright, so keep it nice and sweet, like so. So we've got that box there. It's highlighted. So then what we're going to do is we're going to select image, crop, and it's cropped out that image. So now we've done that, we now can stop the action. So click on this box here. That is now created that action. Like you see. So with this action now saved, if we scroll up, it's got recorded everything in that action. Okay, so it's recorded all that history we've done to that action. So we select that, you can, like save. So we've got that actions all logged in. Don't need to create it. So what we're going to do now, because we've got that one single image, we are going to convert all those edits through that action. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply those settings exactly to the other files. So we're going to select File, select Automate, and select Batch. So that's the action. We're going to pick out our folder. We're going to choose our folders. So we're going to find our folders. So desktop. We're going to find out where our file is. There's the file there. There's the file there. And there's the ES250 there. Okay. Then we're going to also, with that file
chosen. Okay. We need to, you can select your destination there, but what we're going to do is now, with that folder selected, okay, we're going to click OK. So now what it's going to do, this action, it's going to apply all those settings to every one of those stacked images we just done. Okay, so it'll go through that file. If we, obviously, because I'm using a slower computer, I can't minimize it, so I'm allowing Photoshop to go through the process to edit all those frames what we've just done. So this might take a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video. In fact, no, we'll minimize the video, I'll pause it, and we'll go back with all those stacked frames, right, that's getting processed using that action. So bear with me, guys and girls and everyone. Let it go through its motion and we'll come back to you later. So now, after Photoshop has applied that action to every single image that we've just created, so every image, all the settings have been applied. So as you can see, we're going to get out of this. What we needing is these files here, the conv TIFF files. Those are the ones that are much sharper. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit the program. We don't need to, I don't think, in fact, look, just wait a second, we'll just minimize that. So we're just going to double check these files. Right, so we should have, okay, so it hasn't applied it, so we need to save these files. So I'm glad in a way I didn't escape from that. So what we do is we go back to Photoshop and we're going to save all those files. So we exit out. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Just keep doing that. Save every single file. So I'm glad it hasn't. I'm glad I haven't closed that down, or I had to go through that process all again. So we're going to click on that. So it's saving all those files. As you can see, it's a very powerful tool. So we've now got out of that. So now we're going to click on this file again, and you'll see now this box here. As you can see, all those settings have been applied. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get rid of the TIFF files. We want the conv TIFF files we want. So we want to get rid of these files, the ones that's not being sharpened. So all we do is left click, press Control, and get rid of all these TIFF files we don't want. So all the TIFF files. There's no TIFF file. Also, that's not been applied. Don't know why that is. Let's go through all these TIFF files. Okay, right click, delete. And that will just get rid of all those files. And these are the files we're interested. Okay, so these are the files we were wanting. All the conviv TIFF files. Don't know what's gone wrong there. I think it's double processed there. So I'm not really concerned about that. So now what we're going to do is open up Photoshop again. Now what you'll probably find with these files that we've just saved, they're all set in order, but again, the main problem with these files is they're not aligned properly. So we're going to minimize that. In fact, no, we don't need to do that. So what we're going to do is we just let it load up. So what we're going to do is we're going to click File, select Scripts, and on Scripts, we're going to load the files into Stack. It then asks to browse the files you want. So these are the files. So I'll left click, hold the Shift key, left click again to highlight those frames, click OK. So highlight all those frames, and we must click on this box here that says attempt to automatically align source images. So we tick that box and we click OK. So now what Photoshop will now do is align every single frame so that when you're looking at each of those frames, they have not moved out. So basically Photoshop will stack those in a way, or stencil them, so that all those frames are positioned in a certain way, right? So it's not jagged. Because due to the reason is my tracking, my mount wasn't tracking very well. So it's basically stacking a fixed point on those images. So as it's loading all those frames, so bear with me, my computer is so slow. So what we got now is Photoshop is now aligned every single image. So every image should be aligned, okay? Right, so every image should be aligned, okay? You'll notice that some frames will probably have moved slightly. So what we do, like all these missing bits here is a bit of a concern, but don't worry about that, we'll sort that out. So what we've done is it's aligned every single image, alright, so in a fixed point. So now what we're going to do is going to create a time-lapse video using Photoshop. Now I've used other software before and it has not worked very well. It really is really disappointing. I don't know why it didn't work, but not to worry, guys and girls and everyone. What we're going to do is we're going to select window and we're going to select timeline. So we're going to find timeline. Where's timeline? There it is. There's timeline. We select timeline. So you've got this timeline here, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on this box here. So click on this box, I believe it's left click. I think, hold on, wait a second. I think I need to click on create frame animation. Ah, there we go. That's what I've done wrong. So now what we're going to do, we've got that first frame here. So that's the first frame. Then we click this box. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a brain fart going on. So we left click that, and we're going to select make frames from layers. So now it's put a timeline of every single frame put in order. So all this is now applied to this. So 24 frames. I don't know why we're missing 25, but not to worry, I'm not really concerned, it's just a frame. So with this, before we do anything, we are going to, I'm not really happy about this this image sort of flip like that, so I'm going to want to flip the image first. So I select image rotation, and I'm going to select 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, it gives it a much more better natural sort of orientation there. So we've got all those files applied to there. So now, because we've got these frames in a timeline, you'll notice that if you click on each box, you see you got that box, you got all this empty space here. Now if you make your time-lapse video, this will show this empty space and it'll look weird. So all these frames that are lined, alright, what we're going to do is we're going to try and get rid of all these empty spaces. Okay, so what we'll do is we are going to crop the image. So we select that box, the rectangle box here. I'm just going to move this timeline away, and we're just going to focus on cropping an image. Oh, in fact, no, we're just going to move it across there. So we're going to crop that image. Where's that timeline? In fact, don't know why it's highlighted there. We'll try that again. Rectangle again. We're going to crop the image. Come on, crop that image. Okay, so here's a rectangle. We select image and we're going to crop. So now it should crop a part of that image, the first frame. So now we're going to go back to our timeline and we're going to check each frame again. And again, we need to find out where we need to crop the image again. So as you can see, we've got an empty space here on this frame and an empty space from this frame. So again, we need to still keep cropping that image. So we're going to keep cropping that image. Like so. There we go. I'm happy with that. We'll crop that image there. So what we're going to do is select image, crop. There you go. So it's cropped that image. So we check again, check another file. And all you're doing is you're checking each bit. Again, we've got a bit of a gap there, so we need to crop that part there. So again, rectangle box, highlight it, and do some more cropping. As you can see, the Photoshop does do a good job at trying to align all that, but we just got to keep cropping that image like so. So we'll check it again, see if we cropped it properly. Yep. So we'll check again, and we've got another empty space. So we've got an empty space here. So again, select the rectangle box, and we just keep on cropping that image so we've got no empty spaces. So again, image, crop. So that's cropped that image. So again, go through each frame. Again, we've got an empty space there. Same again. Rectangle, image, crop. So check each bit. Yep, 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 yep. Oh no, we've got another part. So again, we've got to crop that image. So get rid of these empty spaces like so. Image, crop. So yeah, check again. Now we've got another empty space here. Like I say, you have to go through every single file. So again, keep going. crop that image. You're just trying to get as much of that image as possible. So crop that image. Alright, so that's now cropped that image. So yeah. 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 Oh no, we've got another part there. So again, same detail. Rectangle. Like I say, you might have to go through hundreds of these if you're lucky. So again, we just crop that again. Keep trimming that timeline. Check again. Yep. Oh look, we got another one. We got another bad one here. So again, we just want to crop that image. So as we are, again, image, crop, and should be on the final one. Good. So now what we've done, we've cropped all the images, got rid of all those empty spaces, like so. So we'll go back to our first frame. So now, it is a bit disappointing at first. You think, wow, I've cropped all those images and I've literally lost a lot of detail there. But don't worry, guys and girls and everyone. I'm not really actually happy with that. I might actually refer that back to orientation to... Yeah. Okay, I actually like that. So I'm going to rotate it back. I'm not really happy with that, but I'm going to rotate it back. So now we've got our timeline. We're going to now you can adjust each segment separately. We're going to, like, every frame has a time delay. So we're going to, you can select each individual one and select the frame to 0.1 second. But what you can do, a quicker way of doing it, is if you set your time limit. So you click on the first frame and then hold down the control key, click on the last frame. In fact, is it shift? In fact, shift. Yeah. So if you click on your first frame, press down the shift key, then click on the last frame. It highlights all of those. Then press right click on the mouse button, select 0.1 seconds, and then it's selected 0.1 second all the way through those frames. So I think we've literally got probably a 3 or 4 second video, which is not long. Okay, so we can play this video. So here is this. If you click on the play button here, you'll see the sequence. So as you can see there's our sequence there. So I'll just press it again so you can see it again. And as you can see, there's a sequence there. So yes, it's a bit delayed. You can also make it faster. So you can either speed up the video. Okay, so you can see now the time-lapse video. You can see that the sun is now sturdy. All the frames are aligned, and we've now got some form of animation. So now what we're going to do with this animation is each of those frames are now 0.1 of a second. You can have them even slower than that, but we'll leave it as that. So now we're going to, I think we need to save this video. So to save, we're going to click on File, click on Export, and I think we need to find... there it is. So just bear with me. So click on File, click on Export, and you see this point here, it says Render Video. So press Render Video, Right, come on Photoshop, load up. So now we are going to create our time-lapse video. Final adjustments now. Not long to go. So there we go. So we're gonna call it my first solar video. Okay, so that's my name of my video. I'm going to select the actual folder. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Keep it short and simple. You can create a subfolder. Don't need to do that. And what we're going to do is you're going to select the highest quality you can. Alright, you can have it in different formats, 2K. Unfortunately my computer is not great, so I can't have 4K, so probably 2K, whatever. But I'm gonna keep it at, yeah, we're gonna keep it at high definition, which is that quality. And again, depending on how you want to set it, alright, you can set the frame rate. Ideally I'm gonna set it at highest frame rate of, yeah, 5.95. In fact, I don't know what's going off there. And again, you can see what I'm trying to do here. Some frame rates, it will auto set itself. Okay, so I just want to get back from that and try that again. I've noticed some frame rates are not particularly great. Go back again. Right, so I want a good quality video. But come on, that's the one I want. That's what I want exactly. There we go. So we'll leave all these bits alone. I'm happy with that. So now we're gonna render that video. So click on render, and Photoshop will now begin completing that, exporting that video. Should have a file that's saved. So fingers crossed. In fact, I'm not going to cancel Photoshop, I'm just going to minimize it. So that's our files we've got, and what we should have somewhere is the video, and there's that video file just there. So that's what Photoshop has just saved, and as you can see, it's only a 2-second video. So more pictures, well, the more frames you can capture, more of that video is. So even though it's a 2-second video, we're going to click on it and see what it looks like. There we go. We have created a very basic animation time-lapse of the sun activity, and as you can see, it's not great. It's my first professional sort of time-lapse video I can muster, but as you can see, it's pretty cool. I'm actually quite impressed with that. So we've just created our first time-lapse video, where what we've done there, we've created an action to apply all the settings we have adjusted through Photoshop after we've done the stacked images. We've then aligned them, and then we have converted, obviously, all the adjustments, that all the frames are aligned properly, and using Photoshop we've created a time-lapse video, and I'm actually quite impressed with it. And as you can see, what we've captured here, what I've captured here, is we've got some kind of plasma explosion. So this is really impressive stuff. I'm absolutely well over the moon. We've now captured a high definition video. Okay, it's only 2 seconds long. You know, you can see a lot of promising adjustments there, but I'm actually quite happy with the results.
and look at it, it's fantastic. Even the detail of the movements there, and we got some prominences activity on the side here, and I'm absolutely thrilled to bits. So thanks for everyone. I hope this video has helped you. Alright, please use this video as a guide. Try out yourself, capture some of your solar images as best you can. The more you can capture, the longer that video. And again, this is just a basic guide, no bells or whistles, using Photoshop. Use this video as a guide to take you through your first time-lapse video, and I'm really happy with the results there. I'm absolutely all over the moon, even though it's 2 seconds long, but wow, I am absolutely chuffed to bits with that.
So then, what do you reckon, guys and girls and everyone? A lot better than the last time-lapse video that I produced, and as you can see, what a massive improvement that makes using auto stack it and using Photoshop, also using the timeline function, the auto align, and using the video render video option as well on Photoshop. Yes, it does take a bit of time. Bear in mind, everyone, that you'll need a lot of data. So be warned, you'll need a minimum of around about 60 gigabyte of data to get a 2-second animation. You know, it's not a lot. So be prepared to collect more and more video as you can possibly can. One thing I found out is I've been using the ASI 178. So basically what I did was half the screen size, which gives me a reasonable amount of data of frame rates, but also if you use the maximum size video, you will not get as much frames as possible. So 30 seconds of video, if you use a high resolution of the camera, you're not going to get a lot of data. All right, plus your computer might struggle to process that huge window, so try and half the resolution down. So I use the 1920 by 1080, which is like an HD quality resolution. So I half the window size down to get a reasonable, decent result, to get as much captures within that 30 seconds. Plus, providing you got 15 seconds delay. Obviously, it can be longer because obviously with my laptop, for example, has to buffer the frames to capture the lost frames that it's trying to process through. So even the buffer time is still a delay. So depending on how fast your computer is or laptop you're using, you know, mine is pretty old, so it has to buffer some of the lost frames. On a faster laptop, you probably might not have that problem. So again, it just depends on what processor you use on your laptop or computer, determines how quick though that video gets captured. I do prefer to use ShortCap. ShortCap is a great capture software. The good thing about ShortCap is it's a lot easier to use, plus every file that you capture in that video is is timed, so there's no chance or a slight chance. So when you stack those images, it will obviously, as long as you kept the details there, it'll keep those video frames in order. So when you edit it, or your stacked images into Photoshop, Photoshop will make sure that it's all set in order, so there's no confusion. So that's what I like about Shortcut. It actually puts a time on that video was taken, so every time you take that shot, it's always in order. All right, so that's why I like using Shortcut. I believe that Fire Capture doesn't do that, but Shortcut does. All right, so that's something to point out. You must ensure that your videos are in order for the animation to work. Otherwise, you'll probably find that it'll skip a process. If you put your animation together, you'll find that it might have skipped a video clip and so forth, and it doesn't look right. So I prefer to use Shortcut as my main capture program. Yes, you're not going to get decent frame rate compared to Fire Capture. That's why a lot of people use Fire Capture, because you do get a decent frame rate. But I do like Shortcut. Despite some of its flaws, it's still damn good to use, and I've always used it. Bear in mind, you need a lot of data. So we're talking 60 gigabyte of data minimum for like a 2-second video. It's not much, so you'll need a lot more. So please ensure, everyone, that you've got plenty of hard drive space. So you'll need, I would say, a terabyte of hard drive space is needed when you want to capture. The more frames you can capture, I mean, I captured 30 seconds and there was only 25 frames for a 2-second video, depending on the window size and the frame rate. Depends on how many of those stacked images you can collect. So 30 seconds of 25 videos is not a lot, so you'll need to probably be looking at 60 to 80 individual time-lapse videos. So you need about 60 or 80 videos at least to get a decent animation of around probably 5, maybe 6 seconds long. Again, it's not a long video, but bear in mind you are capturing the sun's activity, and that light, even though the sun is very bright, there is a delayed amount of time of the movement of these prominences and solar flares and the surface detail. There is a time delay for that light to reach us, hence the reason why you put this delay in there in the first place. So not only to allow the camera to buffer the lost frames, but also you're capturing the animation in sequence. All right, so 30 seconds is long enough. Don't do it any longer than that, because what you'll tend to do is your images will start to blur out and drift. So keep it nice and short, and as long as you've got a delay in between that, all right, you should get some decent videos that can be stacked individual, and you'll get a single stacked image. With that stacked image that's been also adjusted with Photoshop, yes, I didn't adjust the wavelets. I should have done in my the last one that I did use Registack 6. So I should have used IMPPG, or I should have used Registack 6 to just adjust the sharpness levels a bit. But then this will make this video much longer. So what I should have done on this video was show you how to not only stack your image using Auto Stack It, but also adjust the wavelets. But my video will be very long. Plus, I'm just starting out. I'm just like everyone else into this hobby. I'm also learning. I'm always going to be learning. So I thought I just want to get this off my chest to just get to show you guys and girls and everyone keep it very basic so that you know how to do it yourself. The wavelets and adjustments will come later. That's an added feature. So the more experience I get used to this time-lapsing, I will start to use Registack 6 and IMPPG, alright, and I will adjust the wavelets then and then adjust it with Photoshop. But I thought with this video I would keep it simple, because in the day, using those two programs, capturing all that data to produce animation is really difficult. And like I did with my original time lapse, it wasn't very effective. The good thing I like about when you post process, I do like how Photoshop auto aligns all the frames. Basically what that does, it's like sort of stenciling a certain fixed point and it stencils over the top. So every alignment is aligned on that part of that capture. So I like how it auto aligns and keeps that image nice and straight. The only problem is though, you have to crop out some of the missed bits. You have to do that, because if you don't crop out some of the missed bits, alright, where it's done the auto alignment, your video is going to look weird. And that's the reason why you have to crop out all the missing gaps. Crop that out. Yes, you are going to lose a lot of detail and window size, but again, that's why I use half the sensor size, alright, to try and, alright, you're not going to get decent frame rate, but at least when you're cropping it all the way down, you're going to get some promises and some solar surface in there, alright. So that's why we have to crop it, so that your video will look good, alright. So yes, there's a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong, this is taking me a considerable amount of time just to get this far. Yes, I will get better, the more I improve, the more I practice, I start taking more and more of these time-lapse videos, I'm going to get better at it, and so are you. So to that on, I'm really satisfied with what I produced. I'm going to do more of these time-lapse videos because I think they're really cool. They really do push out a lot of detail. So yes, you do have to take a lot of time and data. The other thing you've got to bear in mind is when you're taking time-lapse videos, ensure that you have the clearest skies, because you don't want to be having to take a time-lapse video and then a cloud passes by. Alright, you want to try and capture a time-lapse video when you've got the sun and it's the clearest day, alright, as possible. You know, that's how it works much more effective, these time lapses. So yes, you might be taking a short captures, but try and get these captures to get these the best possible time lapse is try and get it so the sun is high up in the air and you've got hardly any cloud that's going to ruin your shots, because any pause or delay will determine on your time-lapse video. So I've been using my Rother Valley Optics Horizon 60 ED refractor. Yes, using a quick setup, I didn't have much time. Ideally, if I would have used my proper solar rig, my dual rig for this, and had the HEQ5 mount properly aligned so that my tracking is spot on. Then that's the other thing you must bear in mind when you're taking time-lapse videos, is not only you've got the cloud against you. If you want really good time-lapse videos, you want to try and make sure that you've got the best possible tracking as possible. An idea, it's not easy when you're trying to pull a line when you can't see Polaris. So it is very difficult. Now, if I would use my dual rig with my HEQ5 mount, because it seems to track a lot better for the sun. So that's the other thing you've got to bear in mind. that you've got to have decent tracking to get decent time-lapse videos. However, as you saw what I tried to do when I was doing the imaging side, you saw me fix a certain point. So what I did to compensate, even though my tracking was not very good at all using my Skywatcher Adventure GTI mount, what I did was use that crosshair, fix a certain point or feature of a known part, and just readjust. So every time you do a capture, as soon as you finish that capture and the frames are buffering or it's on its delay, move the mount to that fixed position and just keep it there and just keep doing that. Yes, it's a lot more hard work that you have to do that all the time, and it can be a right pain to do, but that seems to work out better for me. So even though your tracking might not be as great, as you saw that the imaging session, just fix back onto that target using the crosshair, start the capture. As soon as it starts buffering or it's on its delay moment, you then move the mount again back onto that same target and keep doing that. And that's one way you can get away with your bad tracking. And as you can see, it did work. Please use this video as a guide. And again, this wasn't an easy task, so please hit the like button. And again, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe onto my channel. And don't forget to hit the notifications bell. By hitting that bell, I will notify you for any new videos that I publish out very, very soon. Please, I do spend a lot of hard time. I do have a full-time job, so I have to balance my hobby and my work and my private life. All right, so it's not an easy task. So yes, to that on, thanks again, thanks for watching, and I wish you all clear skies.